I think it's often a misconception that teachers only teach in their classroom during the school day.
It's what they know, but if somebody doesn't understand it, that they can reiterate what they're doing in a different way.
If it is something that the students might find boring, we try to find themes within that. For example, we're doing Julius Caesar right now, and one of the themes that we try to get into is loyalty and betrayal, because that's something that everyone can relate to, whether they like reading Shakespeare or not.
And if that student is still not getting it, that person can be humble enough to say, okay, I need to find another way to get this point across.
Sure, our bell rings at 2 o'clock, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I stop teaching at 2 o'clock. Nearly every day after school I'm involved in something. 2 days a week I do tutoring in English lab, where I try to work one-on-one with students if they're asking for help. There's this guy Howard Gardner, and he said that there's like 8 or 9 different ways that students excel based on their own personalities. And you have to figure out as a teacher what personality those students are. So at this point in the year, we're 3/4 of the way through the year, you name a student, I can tell you the best thing that they need to do in order to retain information.
I try and find out something about their background, about their prior knowledge, something about their home life, so that I can help taper their learning towards what their needs are.
How would you describe Mr. Fisher?
Oh my gosh, there's so many words to describe this guy. Mr. Fisher is probably the sweetest, most loving teacher. He would help anybody.
He's just a really cool teacher. He's really smart. He's really helpful with like every social studies thing I've ever had.
I've always tried to help other students. I have other students who come to my room after school sometimes for help, or have come to me for help on junior and senior projects, even if I'm not working with them. When I sponsored student council in 8th grade class at the junior high, I got to know a lot of different students, and quite often we would talk about things or talk about problems they were having with certain subjects, and we would try to work things out.
He's always there, and he's really big, he's a big support for every sports team. Like, he came to almost every single one of our field hockey games this year.
You have to be connected with the kids. You have to show them that you care. Teenagers are not stupid. They know if you are sincere with them and if you care about them. And I think if you project that in the classroom, no matter what you're teaching, they understand that.
All sorts of things. Modeling, chunking, using graphic organizers. I don't call on students who are uncomfortable reading out loud. What else? What do I do, Delrica?
You're just good at everything.
Classroom, Mayette was very thorough in presentation. She was very rigid in structure in a way, but you would also see a softer side to her because she was very open and helpful. If you needed help, she would help you. Does a student feel comfortable to ask them a question, whether it's a content-based question or even a question about, hey, what do you think about this kind of situation I'm stuck in? Where can I go for a good answer for that?
And I think what you're doing with this is an excellent way to find out what is successful for you guys. What teachers do you connect with? What is it that they do that you gain more knowledge from, so that we can share that with our colleagues and become better teachers for you guys.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
I think the best way to improve on student-teacher relationships is to get to truly know your students and let your students know a little bit about you. Building a relationship is a two-way street.